Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome back to my channel. That feels, I don't know, थोड़ा सा shy feel होता है बोलते बोलते. ठीक है, आदत हो जाएगी. Okay. So first of all, I apologize कि last video में I did not bid farewell because क्या हुआ था ना, मैं रिकॉर्ड कर रही थी और मुझे पता ही नहीं चला कि मेरे माइक की बैटरी ख़त्म हो गई. सो मैं बड़बड़ाए जा रही हूँ तो आई लॉस्ट अराउंड 12 मिनट्स का डेटा. आई वॉज रीडिंग, आई वॉज टॉकिंग, आई वॉज डूइंग फलाना ढिमकाना एंड ठीक है, आई लॉस्ट इट. एंड कृष्ण ही पढ़ रही थी तो आज फिर से करेंगे. एंड टुडे एज एन अपॉलॉजी एंड ऑल्सो एज एन इनिशिएशन, बिकॉज इससे बेटर क्या हो सकता है, आई एम ऑल्सो गोइंग टू रीड वन ऑफ माई पोएट्रीज. बट वो लास्ट सेगमेंट में करते हैं, नहीं अब भी कर लेते हैं, फिर शुरू करते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ दिस इज़ समथिंग आई रोट इन माई जर्नल. Oh, before we begin, this is Blueberry, as you know, our listening partner, and this is Bumtu. He is spelled with M B U M T U U. Sorry, that is U 00 O. मैंने प्रैक्टिस किया था कि मैं जब बोलूँगी तो यू ओ बोलूँगी, बट वो ऊ आ गया. एक तो मैं एडिट नहीं करती हूँ, उसमें ये सब कर रही हूँ. अरे बताओ भाई क्या होने वाला है. एनीवेज, तो मैं मेरे जर्नल में लिख रही थी. I usually end up writing poems when I am journaling. So, this is a poem I wrote in October of last year. मैंने लास्ट ईयर ही जर्नलिंग करनी स्टार्ट की, बाय द वे. इसके पहले मैंने ऐसे स्ट्रे राइटिंग की थी, बट जर्नल मैंने जो कॉन्स्टेंटली वाला ट्राई किया, दैट वाज सिंस लास्ट ईयर के मिड या एंड में स्टार्ट किया था, अराउंड आखिरी क्वार्टर पता नहीं क्वार्टर होगा कि क्या होगा, बट लाइक आई बिलीव इट वॉज इन August or September that I started, and I tried all kinds of journaling by now, is what I think. I have tried writing, audio, video. आई थिंक तीनों का अलग अलग इफ़ेक्ट है. इनफैक्ट उसके पहले मुझे मन था ये यूट्यूब वाला, बट कभी हिम्मत नहीं हो रही थी. बट 2-3 बार मैंने खुद को जर्नल किया एंड आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग फेमिलराइज्ड विथ माई फेस, with my expressions, with the way I speak, and it became easier. It felt possible to have something of myself. और फिर जर्नल करते करते वो डिटैचमेंट ही आ गया, दैट आई डिड नॉट केयर अबाउट हाउ मैनी पीपल वर वॉचिंग. आई जस्ट वॉन्ट whoever is watching me to connect with me, connect with themselves, connect with Kanha, if at least just for a moment. So, और क्या पता किसी दिन somebody would actually understand the depth of what I want to say without me saying it, and they tell me क्या आप ये कहना चाहती थी, and I will be like हाँ मज़ा आएगी. Also ये मेरी जर्नल में मिला. मेरे जर्नल्स में यूजुअली रहते हैं और मेरे काफ़ी जर्नल्स है इधर पड़े हुए, तो ओ वहाँ पे बुक्स पढ़ी है. ठीक है, इसको इमिटेटिंग कान्हा. ओके, सो क्या मुझे थोड़ा सा साइड में होना चाहिए? बट वो मिडल नहीं होगा ना. आई एम सो सॉरी गाइज, मैं आप लोगों को कवर करने वाली हूँ, बट आई एम गोइंग टू रीड माई पोएम ना. ओके, थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दूँ? नहीं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही नीचे हो गया. नो, आई लाइक दिस इज सो क्यूट. ओके, थोड़ी सी इंटेंस है, हाँ, पहले ही बता रही हूँ. ओके, I don't remember what name I must have given to this. क्या हो रहा है? मुंह खोल के बात करनी चाहिए, वरना ये होता है, वर्ड्स खुद ही फिसल कर बाहर निकल रहे होते हैं. तो नाम तो मुझे पता नहीं है, मैंने अब तक शायद रखा ही नहीं हो, बट आप सुन लो मेरी कविता. थोड़ी सी शर्म आ रही है, ठीक है, सीख जाऊंगी मैं. दरिया हूँ मैं और चांद भी, आकाश हूँ मैं और किरण भी, इश्क हूँ मैं या कह दूँ मोहब्बत सही, फना हो भी जाऊँ बर्बाद कभी नहीं. दरिया हूँ मैं और चांद भी, आकाश हूँ मैं और किरण भी, इश्क हूँ मैं या कह दूँ मोहब्बत सही, फना हो भी जाओ बर्बाद कभी नहीं. मौसम हूँ मैं, मुस्कुराहट की चाह भी मैं ही, चाहत हूँ मैं पर्याप्त, संपूर्ण, स्वयं, और वो सब भी मैं ही. तितलियों का रंग हूँ मैं, चिता की अग्नि भी, शुरुआत मैं हूँ और अंत भी बस मैं ही, आई होप चलो ठीक है, किसी को आई होप पसंद आई, क्योंकि मुझे बड़ी पसंद आई. आई वॉज जस्ट सिफ्टिंग थ्रू माई जर्नल और ये मुझे दिख गया, सो आई वॉज लाइक क्या लिखा है मैंने, ऐसा तो देखा तो पसंद आ गया. आई वॉज लाइक पढ़ते हैं. ठीक है, आज मैं इसको रहने दूँ क्या? रहने देता है. क्यूट लग रहा है, क्यूट लग रहा है. ठीक है. तो अब हम कृष्ण पढ़े. आज भी हम कृष्ण पढ़ रहे हैं बाय द वे. ठीक है. द लास्ट ऑडिबल पैरा वॉज दिस, और उसके बाद आई स्टार्ट रीडिंग. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva without being subject to any of the conditions of an ordinary living entity. Since Krishna was there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayana, and incarnations like Lord Narasimha and Varaha, were with him, and they also were not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of the Absolute Truth, but because she was confined within the house of Kansa, she looked just like a suppressed fire, or like misused education. When fire is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kansa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa, however, saw the transcendental beauty of his sister Devaki, and he at once concluded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken shelter in her womb. She had never before looked so wonderfully beautiful. He could distinctly understand that there was something wonderful within the womb of Devaki. In this way, Kamsa became perturbed because he was sure that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who would kill him in the future, had now come. Kamsa began to think, what is to be done with Devki? Surely she has Vishnu or Krishna within her womb, so it is certain that Krishna has come to execute the mission of the demigods, and even if I immediately kill Devki, his mission cannot be frustrated. Kamsa knew very well that no one can frustrate the purpose of Vishnu. Any intelligent man can understand that the laws of God cannot be violated. His purpose will be served in spite of all impediments offered by the demons. Kamsa thought, if I kill Devki at the present moment, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will more vehemently. To kill Devki just now would be a most abominable act. No one desires to kill his reputation, even in an awkward situation. If I kill Devki now, my reputation will be spoiled. Devki is a woman, and she is under my shelter. She is pregnant, and if I kill her, immediately my reputation, the results of my pious activities, and my duration of life will all be finished. Makes sense that he would think so, because I don't know. I'm not sure. He seems very rational, but also irrational. I wonder why he is such a. Perhaps I don't just understand him yet, and we might know about him further ahead. बिकॉज बचपन से एक सर्टन इमेज है कंस की जो टीवी से स्टोरीज से पता है. I never diagnosed that character individually. Analysis की तो बात आती ही नहीं है. But this seems like a very beautiful subject. Even the demons, even the Rakshasas that were perished by the god himself, they must have a story, right? Because इतने पाप करने के बाद अगर उन्हें मोक्ष मिलता है तो isn't that fascinating? ऐसे तो क्या कर्म रहे होंगे उनके पहले, ऐसे तो क्या promises लेकर आए थे वो. Because of course we believe in the karma, right? The cycle of karma, which is a result of dharma. तो क्या है ये? Perhaps this line is also not correct, that karma is the result of dharma. I think it goes side by side, like parallel lines. But they must intersect somewhere, right? Perhaps that is the free will. I have so many ideas about the free will. मैं जब भी उसके बारे में कुछ ना कुछ बात करने निकलती हूँ ना, मेरे पास कुछ ना कुछ थॉट होता ही है. किसी दिन तो बस बैठ के खाली एक फ्री विल के ऊपर बुक लिखने वाली हूँ. एंड इट इज़ गोइंग टू हैव नो साइटेशंस. मैं बस अंधाधुन जो मेरे मन में आता है वो लिखने वाली हूँ. ये बड़ा मज़ा आने वाला है मुझे. ये तो मैं करूँगी ही किसी दिन. एनीवेज, back to the topic. He further deliberated. A person who is too cruel is as good as dead, even in this lifetime. No one likes a cruel person during his lifetime, and after his death, people curse him. On account of his self-identification with the body, he must be degraded and pushed into the darkest region of hell. Kansa thus meditated on all the pros and cons of killing Devki at that time. Kamsa finally decided not to kill Devki right away but to wait for the inevitable future. But his mind became absorbed in animosity against the personality of Godhead. He patiently waited for the delivery of the child, expecting to kill him, as he had done previously with the other babies of Devki, thus being merged in the ocean of animosity against the personality of Godhead. He began to think of Krishna or Vishnu while sitting, while sleeping, while walking, while eating, while working, in all the situations of his life. His mind became so much absorbed with the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that indirectly he could see only Krishna or Vishnu around him. Unfortunately, although his mind was so absorbed in the thought of Vishnu, he is not recognized as a devotee because he was thinking of Krishna as an enemy. The state of mind of a great devotee is also to be always absorbed in Krishna, but a devotee thinks of him favorably, not unfavorably. To think of Krishna favorably is Krishna consciousness, but to think of Krishna unfavorably is not Krishna consciousness. See, perhaps this is the reason why I did not identify with the term, with coining, with the coin term Krishna consciousness. I don't know who came up with this, and whoever did, I am aware that many people associate with it, many people absorb it, and many people identify with it. I personally cannot, because its conditions are a little too strict, and I, from my knowledge, from my understanding, have come to this idea that our dharma as a human being is much more abstract. Okay, it's much more intense, and it does not exactly follow a certain rule in a certain way. It is diverse, and if you think of it simply, dharma is very, 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 very easy to follow. Just choose the hard part. But it is so difficult to follow because it is so saral, it is so simple that you will have to choose hardships. You will have to take the difficult decisions. And you also have to, I don't know, I don't agree with the fact that he was not a devotee. Even if Kansa does not think of himself as a devotee, I personally believe that Kansa became a devotee. And that was the purpose of Akashvani, to bring Lord, to bring the Lord from the moment. अगर आप राम अवतार में भी देखो, then during that time Mother Kaushalya, she was repeatedly shown the vision of Lord Vishnu. Even though he was to be born as a human with following every decorum of a human being, the ideal Purush, okay, the ideal man, the ideal person, he was to come as that. Yet he let himself be known. He let himself be seen for who he is. Even every devotee of Lord Rama, they have known who Rama is. And sometimes you find it so confusing that why are people in the know? But even if it's an enemy, they think of him constantly, and even if they don't realize it, they become a devotee. I don't know, I just personally think that it is wrong to not to judge someone, to put them in a box that no, he was not a devotee. Because as I was saying previously, there must have been a reason, right? But who knows? These people that have written these books, who talk about in such long pravachans, they know better. I just speak what's in my heart, and in my heart there is only Kanha. So, okay. ज़्यादा बात कर ली आज. At this time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages, like Narad, and followed by many other demigods, invisibly appeared in the house of Kansa. They began to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in select verses, which are very pleasing to the devotees and which award fulfillment to their desires. The first words they spoke acclaim that the Lord is true to his vow, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna descends to this material world just to protect the pious and destroy the impious. That is his vow. The demigods could understand that the Lord had taken his residence within the womb of Devaki to fulfill his vow, and they were very glad that the Lord was appearing in order to fulfill his mission. Then the demigods addressed the Lord as Satyam Param, or the supreme absolute truth. Everyone is searching after the truth. That is the philosophical way of life. The demigods give information that the supreme absolute truth is Krishna. One who becomes fully Krishna conscious can attain the absolute truth. Krishna is the absolute truth because, unlike relative truth, he is truth in all the three phases of eternal time. Time is divided into past, present, and future. Krishna is truth always, past, present, and future. In the material world, everything is being controlled by supreme time, in the course of past, present, and future. But before the creation, Krishna was existing, and when there is creation, everything is resting in Krishna. And when this creation is finished, Krishna will remain. Therefore, he is the absolute truth in all circumstances. If there is any truth within this material world, it emanates from the supreme truth, Krishna. If there is any opulence within this material world, the cause of the opulence is Krishna. If there is any reputation within this material world, the cause of the reputation is Krishna. If there is any strength within this material world, the cause of such strength is Krishna. If there is any wisdom and education within this material world, the cause of such wisdom and education is Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the source of all relative truths. This material world is composed of 5 principal elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And all such elements are emanations from Krishna. The material scientists accept those 5 primary elements as the cause of the material manifestation. But the elements in their gross and subtle states are produced by Krishna. The living entities who are working within this material world are products of his marginal potency. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that the whole manifestation is a combination of 2 kinds of energies of Krishna, the superior energy and the inferior energy. The living entities are the superior energy, and the dead material elements are his inferior energy. In its dormant stage, everything remains in Krishna. Was it really said in this way? Bhai, I think we need to pick up Bhagavad Gita next. The demigods continued to offer their respectful prayers unto the Supreme from the personality of Godhead, Krishna, by analytical study of the material manifestation. What is this material manifestation? It is just like a tree. A tree stands on the ground. Similarly, the tree of the material manifestation is standing on the ground of material nature. This material manifestation is compared to a tree because a tree is ultimately cut in due course of time. A tree is called vriksha. Vriksha means that thing which will be ultimately cut off. Really? I did not know this. Therefore, this tree of the material manifestation cannot be accepted as the ultimate truth because it is influenced by time. But Krishna's body is eternal. He existed before the material manifestation. He is existing while the material manifestation is continuing, and when it will be dissolved, he will continue to exist. Therefore, only Krishna can be accepted as the absolute truth. Just so you know, Krishna, Shiv, and Shakti, they all have to be there for anything to exist. So Krishna is a name. The manifestation could be Shiva and he would still be Krishna, and the manifestation of Krishna will also be Shiva. And Shakti, she divides herself. She has multiple names too. She has multiple roles too. Personal belief. The Katha Upanishad also cites this example of the tree of the material manifestation standing on the ground of material nature. This tree has two kinds of fruits, distress and happiness. Those who are living in the tree of the body are just like two birds. One bird is localized aspect of Krishna, known as Paramatma, and the other bird is the living entity. The living entity is eating the fruits of this material manifestation. Sometimes he eats the fruit of happiness and sometimes he eats the fruit of distress. But the other bird is not interested in eating the fruit of distress or happiness because he is self-satisfied. The Katha Upanishad states that one bird on the tree of the body is eating the fruits and the other bird is simply witnessing. The roots of this tree extend in three directions. This means that the root of the tree is three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. I feel like, I don't know, but this one bird, if we are talking about the same example, I don't know, something in my head just appeared in this way. One bird among them that is interested in the fruits, which could be distress or happiness, is the ego. Mind you, ego is not bad. The one that is villainized in the spiritual realm, or the people that claim to be in the spiritual realm, in my personal understanding, okay? This is not an attack towards anyone. It's just my personal belief. I think ego is like a child. And this child, I don't know, how do I explain this? Give me a moment. I believe that ego is a child that takes birth, okay, according to what is happening. The soul migrates because we know that soul never dies, okay, that is well established and we all believe that. इसमें तो कोई शंका है ही नहीं, मतलब मैं तो I think that a soul, it lives dormantly, okay, or quite passively, okay, and it stays, it watches, it waits. If the ego overpowers, if the ego is not able to realize that the soul has its want and it is here for a purpose, then that ego becomes something that is uncultured, uncontrolled भी ठीक ही है, I think, but uncontrolled is the word I would rather go for. A soul is rather like a wise person that is staying, that is watching, and it only comes towards you, it only speaks with you when the ego is ready to take care of this wise person, because this is a relationship. Personal belief, okay, फिर से मैं बोल रही हूँ, you have to nurture the ego as your child and you have to take care of your soul as if they are your parent. You have to become your own parent and you have to become your own heir. I believe that is the One of the ways, I wouldn't say the only way, I would say it is one of the ways you can spiritually advance, because you get to know yourself in such a way. Someday I will talk about this in depth, I think, because I'm not satisfied with this summary. I'll present a better way of this, okay? Because I have written about it. I have audio recorded myself speaking about this, and I do have journal matlab, written stuff there. So I articulate it better and speak about it again someday. अभी के लिए ये सही ही चल रहा है, तो लेट्स कंटिन्यू एंड let's keep the mark for 45 minutes again, or 30 minutes is too much, right? But I want to read and I want to talk. The roots of this tree extend in 3 directions. This means that the root of the tree is the 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Just as the tree's roots expands, so by association of the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, one expands his duration of material existence. The tastes of the fruits are of 4 kinds: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimately liberation. According to the different associations in the 3 modes of material nature, the living entities are tasting different kinds of religiosity, different kinds of economic development, different kinds of sense gratification, and different kinds of liberation. Practically, all material work is performed in ignorance, but because there are 3 qualities, sometimes the quality of ignorance is covered with goodness or passion. The taste of these material fruits is accepted through 5 senses. The 5 sense organs through which knowledge is acquired are subjected to 6 kinds of whips: lamentation, illusion, infirmity, death, hunger, and thirst. This material body, or the material manifestation, is covered by 7 layers: skin, flesh, blood, marrow, bone, fat, and semen. The branches of the tree are 8: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. There are 9 gates in this body: the 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 genital, 1 rectum, and there are 10 kinds of internal air passing within the body: prana, apana, udana, vyana, saman, etc. The 2 birds seated in this tree are explained above, are the living entity and the localized Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma. The root cause of the material manifestation described here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands himself to take charge of the 3 qualities of the material world. Vishnu takes charge of the mode of goodness, Brahma takes charge of the mode of passion, and Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance. Brahma perhaps my understanding is not correct according to this belief. I am not going to consider myself wrong immediately just because I lack knowledge and somebody knows more, because I am, in my understanding, this stamp of whatever these things are associated, like Vishnu takes charge of the mode of goodness, Brahma takes charge of passion, mode of passion, and Lord Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance. It does not paint the right picture for me. Let's continue. Brahma, by the mode of passion, creates this manifestation. Lord Vishnu maintains this manifestation by the mode of goodness, and Lord Shiva annihilates it by the mode of ignorance. I am not sure if the words are used correctly. See, there comes this barrier, this veil, this parda, which just does not let me connect with this text. I have repeatedly started and kept this book aside because just nahi ho pata. And you will see further ahead कि क्यों नहीं हो पाता, because एक मोमेंट पे तो आई हैव जस्ट स्टॉप्ड रीडिंग दैट आई डोंट वांट टू रीड दिस डिस्क्रिप्शन. ठीक है, मैं ये कर रही हूँ क्या, आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू गोड यू, आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट माई सेल्फ यार. अपॉलॉजीज, बट वाई वुड आई अपोलोजाइज, ये तो मेरा चैनल है. The whole creation ultimately rests in the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of creation, maintenance, and dissolution, and when the whole manifestation is dissolved, in its subtle form, as His energy, it rests within His body. At present, the demigods prayed. The Supreme Lord Krishna is appearing just for the maintenance of this manifestation. Actually, the Supreme Cause is one. But less intelligent persons, being deluded by the three modes of material nature, see that the material world is manifested through different causes. Those who are intelligent can see that the cause is one, Krishna. I do not support this kind of language. Don't you think this sounds like gaslighting? I don't know. God is all about love. And when such language appears, it feels as if it's very passive aggressive. Feels kya bhai, it is passive aggressive. Or maybe that is just my state of thinking at the moment, and that is why I am thinking as such. But this time, you know what, we are going to complete this. No matter what happens, we should complete it. करना चाहिए, करते हैं. As it is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes. Brahma is the deputed agent for creation. Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna for the maintenance, and Lord Shiva is the expansion of Krishna for dissolution. Our dear Lord, the demigods prayed. It is very difficult to understand your eternal form or personality. People in general are unable to understand your actual form. Therefore, you are personally descending to exhibit your original external form. Somehow, people can understand the different incarnations of your Lordship, but they are puzzled to understand the external form of Krishna, with two hands moving among human beings exactly like one of them. This eternal form of your Lordship gives ever increasing transcendental pleasure to the devotees, but for the non devotees, this form is very dangerous. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is very pleasing to the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. But this form is very dangerous for the demons because Krishna also descends to kill the demons. He is therefore simultaneously pleasing to the devotees and dangerous to the demons. Our dear lotus-eyed Krishna, our dear lotus-eyed Lord, you are the source of pure goodness. There are many great sages who simply by samadhi or transcendently meditating upon your lotus feet, and thus being absorbed in your thought, have easily transformed the great ocean of nescience created by the material nature into no more than the water in a calf's hoofprint. The purpose of meditation is to focus the mind upon the personality of Godhead, beginning from his lotus feet. Simply by meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, great sages cross over this vast ocean of material existence without difficulty. I'm going to say something controversial, but it is my truth. Speak your truth, girl. Meditation is about meeting yourself, and the yourself that doesn't belong but also does. It's about the paradox of being yet not being, and vice versa. In certain sense, this is correct, that you start upon the feet, the lotus feet of Krishna, and you meet him in such ways. That is how Krishna comes to you. His beautiful little feet छन छन करके आते हैं तुम्हारे पास, and they stay. But then he tells you that this is not it. You should want more. He places desire unto you. The desire to know him, by essence, the desire to know yourself, by essence, the desire of meeting your soul, by essence, dissolving your soul in such a sense that it goes back towards him. That is liberation, that is moksha. Personal beliefs. ये मैं बार बार क्यों बोल रही हूँ? I am not going to say this again. It is established now that these are my thoughts, and I started this channel for this very thing. So to just backpedal on this bar again and again seems very unnecessary. I think we are going to let it be. Idhar I have reached the mark of 43 minutes and I would like to read more, but भूख लगी है. I'm hungry. तो थोड़ा खाना खा के आते हैं and फिर let's see. I hope you liked my poem. If you did, तो ठीक है. Good, happy, because I liked it. और तो क्या, ठीक है. This is it for today. And yes, I am very happy that I let this stay. It looks very cute. I hope इनका appearance फिर से हो. Oh, by the way, I told you about my hair pin, right? My वो जो मैंने मुरली और मोर पीच का बनाया था, वो टूट गया. वो अगले दिन ही टूट गया था. सो वो फिर से ट्राई करना है. देखेंगे. बाकी तब तक आई होप दिस गाय कैन कीप अस कंपनी एंड बाय. Thank you for joining. I'm very grateful towards you. I love you. Bye bye. Radhe Radhe.